kingdom life, yeah. This is that kingdom life. This is that kingdom life, yeah, yeah. This is that kingdom, this is that kingdom life, yeah.
My name is Paul Johnson. Some call me Pastor Jake. Call me what you want. This is my father, Jimmy Lee Johnson. Yesterday was his birthday, September the 6th. He is now 75 years old and still look good. Look at him, he still look good.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bishop. Happy birthday to you.
Years. What would be one lesson that you would share with the person?
Honoring God and celebrating every day and thanking God for the fact that He's faithful. And
this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Psalms 118:24.
every day God gives us new Genesis. And my determination is to give God glory every day and to go beyond what I did the day before. I believe that's how those who have accomplished great things for God have been those who are striving to give Him the most and committed to doing that with every opportunity God has given. I look forward to honoring God, and I want to do more, and I'm more in love with God today than I was yesterday. And He's just been so faithful to me. He has never left me. He has never abandoned me. He's never failed me, although all of us have failed Him at some point, some time or another. Thank God for His grace and mercy, and He gives us a new Genesis every day. And we honor God for that. That would be the most exciting thing that I could say I want to convey to anybody who will hear me. To God be the glory.
Another question. Me and my wife, this YouTube channel called Kingdom Living. And it was our desire to just show people that you can still date while you're married. You can grow. You can live a kingdom life while you're married. Live the word out in your relationship with one another. And just really try to start a marriage ministry. We want to ask you. I know you were married to my mother, Paulette Johnson, for 50 plus years, married to my mother. My mother passed back in the beginning of 21. But God blessed you once again to find the love of your latter life. What would you tell a married couple?
The first thing I would say to a married couple is to always recognize each other and not take each other for granted. Marriage is ordained by God. And one of the things we have to understand, marriage is work, but you have to be willing to put the time in. There's a lot of I'm sorry's, but it's all worth it. It's a progressive thing. And I would say that we look to continue to grow and learn. I am for marriage because it's ordained by God. It's a beautiful union. It's work, but it's worth the hard work and the effort. That's the part that keeps me going. And I do thank God. One of the things that I knew, I am better with a partner. I felt suitable.
Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their hard work. Ecclesiastes 4:9.
So a wife or a husband is the completion of the balance of their partner. So one's going to be a saver, one will be a spender, but that's a balance that God uniquely ordained with marriage. And so I often talked about having a partner that's going to be your Jonathan and your Nathan. Jonathan is the encourager. We all need encouragement, but a wife would be the number one, the person up front. And that sphere will fit that pocket of encouragement. Also, a wife or a husband would also fit the Nathan apparatus that would say to speak constructively criticism, constructive criticism. That is to make us go. That is to make us grow. That is not to destroy us. That's not to tear us down, but it's to push us forward. Don't help us grow. Those are some of the most important things. Marriage is so honored and so prized by God that He puts that in relation to Christ and His church.
Yes.
So you can see how it is highly esteemed of God, certainly ordained by God, and just a thing of beauty.
I want to do something really quick. I want to bring your wife here, and I want you guys to share from your perspective how y'all met.
This is my side of the story, and I'm going to stick to it.
This is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It all started a year ago. I was minding my own business one day in my kitchen in Stone Mountain, and I get this phone call, and I recognize the voice because he has this very unique, distinguished voice, right? And I say, hello? And I think he said, Sally? And I was like, and I immediately recognized the voice because of the distinction of it. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, do I call you Jimmy or do I say Bishop now? And so we just started conversation and started catching up. And that's when I learned that, I had really given him my condolences on the passing of Paulette. And we just started talking, and I believe that was like in June or July or something thereabout, or 2023. And so I just happened to mention him because I really wanted to see him now that he's single. But anyway, I mentioned to him that my family reunion was coming up in August of that year, and I know he was intrigued, and so he said, "Oh, I'll be there." And here's the godly thing about it. Seriously, I guess I need to preface all of that with this.
Yes.
Okay. For 20 years, I've been a single mom, raising my daughter, all by myself, working on Sally. I wanted a husband. I'm not girlfriend material, so I'm wife material. So I wanted a husband, and I prayed and asked God. I said, God, this is what I want in a husband. Of course, a man of God, integrity, kind-hearted, funny, sense of humor, all of those attributes of what Jesus has. And yeah, I wanted him to be a handyman, just like Jesus, like a carpenter, but he doesn't have to be perfect. And I left that prayer there at the altar with a thank you. And I said, God, I thank you. And I asked you to just keep him safe until he finds me. So I just went on about my business, raising my daughter and working in my church. And then again, fast forward back to my family reunion, 2023. When he said that he was coming, I'm like, yes, I'll get a chance to see him again. When he walked up on the property, it's like that quickening, and I shared this with him. And I said, when you walked up on the property, I knew he was going to be my husband. March 8th, which is the number for new beginnings.
Yes. We
got married. And, you don't want to keep a good man waiting. So, we just went on and got married. And it's just been wedded, bliss ever since. Now, that's my story.
It was. Some of her cousins who are longtime members of our congregation says, someone has been inquiring about you. Really? Yes. As to my dating status,
I was just checking in on you. See how you were doing.
So they gave me her number. I had prayed also. I had felt after 3 years, I felt a release. And I said, well, Lord, I need someone that loves you as much as I love you. Someone who knows me. Someone who I can relate to on the levels that I need. Someone to help me, to walk with me. And so I remember thinking, as me and my grandson was talking, just having casual conversation, And he said, okay, you don't know, this may be it. He tried to help me, but I didn't get his help. But I called her, and funny thing about it is that whatever happened, the first time I called, she answered the phone, and I don't know what happened, but she seemed like somebody was having an emergency, or
I
getting
object.
choked, or out of breath, or coughing, whatever happened.
I object.
It just went blank. I was praying that person on the other end need emergency help, and I was concerned. So I eventually got the courage to call again. I'm still wondering, is this person all right? Is the person on the other end okay? And that's when we did actually talk, and the voice was clear, and we talked in casual conversation, just a few minutes, and she mentioned the family reunion. That would be a good chance to actually see you again. And I felt deep in my spirit, I prayed, I don't have time to play games, Lord. And I'd already asked for someone who was mature, who was in love with God, and who knew me. And I could not have imagined. It was just beautiful to know that she had a story of how God had kept her, provided, and she had been faithful to God. And she was at a season to where she says, God, I'm open for the possibilities. And we have been falling deeper in love.
Yes.
I think when I walked across the yard, she said, that's my husband. And I looked up and saw that smiling face, this beautiful woman, and she was a little carried away, and I thought, yeah, this is it. And you know what? This is it.
Happy birthday, Bishop Johnson, from Samantha, my wife, Jada, Jace, Joy, Paul Jr., Javen, Jacqueline, and Joshua. Happy birthday, Bishop Jimmy L. Johnson.